Hello there, quarantine collectors and homebound hobbyists. Welcome to a special edition of Heritage Sports Facebook Live. And although it's being filmed live, you're watching this as a recording. But as always, leave any comments or questions you have in the comments section, and we'll get them to you tomorrow. This is a special edition. We want to touch base. We know everybody's sitting at home. Everybody's got a lot of questions out there. But everything at Heritage is continuing on. Our auctions that are up are still continuing, and our auctions that are coming up are still on schedule. So you can peruse everything we have to offer at ha.com. And as always, you can look through our archives at past results as well. We've got an auction open right now. It's David Hall Part 4, which will close April 16th. It's the David Hall T206 collection. David Hall is the founder of Collector's Universe, and he put together the most complete collection of the monster known, and he's selling it off, and we've had a few installations of it, and this is Part 4, which features all Hall of Famers and plenty of rarities in there. We're going to talk about a few of those, and then we're finishing up a catalog for our May cards and memorabilia auction, which will be closing May 7th, 8th, and 9th. So we're going to talk about a few of the highlights there. Now, we hope you're all doing well. You're home, you're safe, you're clean, you're hoarding cards and collectibles and not toilet paper and sanitizer. And we're doing well at Heritage also. So thank you to all of you that have been in contact, and we just wanted to let you know what's going on here. As you can see, we are not in our offices. I'm Mike Provenzale. I'm the production manager in Heritage Sports, and this is my living room. Welcome. Sadly, Tony Giese could not be here. He is quarantined as well, but our IT people are hard at work trying to find a way to bring him to you any way possible. But let's get started right away talking about some of the highlights in our David Hall Part 4 T206 collection. And this is the T206 Hindu Red Frank Chance Portrait Yellow in a PSA EX5. This is an outstanding example. This is Pop 1 and none higher for the brand. Frank Chance, Hall of Famer. All of the cards in this auction are Hall of Famers. He was called the Peerless Leader as he led the Cubs to pennant titles in 06, 07, 08, and 1910 as well as a player manager. And this one has the ultra rare Hindu cigarettes back, which you can see there is printed in red. PSA has over 1,200 submissions of this card. Only 3 have this Hindu back, and this is the finest of those. And it is a strong mid-grade card, a beautiful example, and you can bid right now at ha.com on that one. Another rarity from the David Hall T206 collection. This is the T206 Use It Joe Tinker Bat Off Shoulder in a PSA VGX4. This is the only PSA example of this card. This card can be found with over 10 different tobacco backs, and this is the only one with the Use It back, which is incredibly rare. This one should sell for about $15,000. So this auction has 209 ultra rare T206 cards. A lot of them are, there's only a handful known, and many of them there's only one or just 1 or 2 known. So if you're interested in T206 collecting, we also have a booklet that we put together from the mind of David Hall himself. No one knows more about T206 collecting than he does, and we'd be happy to send that out to you. Just let us know in the comments section if you'd like to see us. It's all of his knowledge about how to collect the T206 set distilled down to one great book, and we'd be happy to send you one out, and a T206 catalog for this auction as well. Now, we're finishing up our catalog right now for our May auction, which has cards and memorabilia together. So we're going to talk about a few of the highlights from that one. And this is one of my favorites. This is a circa 1940 Josh Gibson and Ray Brown dual-signed baseball. Josh Gibson one of the most feared sluggers in history, dominated the Negro League, sadly never made it to the majors because of the, quote, gentleman's agreement, unquote, and he was called the Black Babe Ruth, and his exploits on the field are legendary, bordering on folklore, and Leo DeRocher said it's all true and then some. So an incredible player, and of course his autograph is extremely rare. He tragically died of a stroke at 35, 3 months before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. So a lot of the Negro League autographs that are available out there are from later in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and they were older men, but this is from when he was in his prime in the 40s, and it's estimated only 12 of his autographs exist, and this is a beautiful one, a 8 or 9 out of 10, we'd say, and out of that tiny fraction of autographs of his that exist, only a few of them are on baseballs. And he's joined here by fellow Homestead Gray and Hall of Famer Ray Brown, who was one of the best pitchers in the Negro Leagues. He died in 1965, so his autograph is incredibly rare as well. And that one's a 7 out of 10. And this ball should do 50,000 or more. A true rarity. Up next, another great card. This is the 1949 Bowman Jackie Robinson in a PSA Mint 9. There is none higher. There's pop 9 of this and none higher, and great red background, is beautifully bold, got Jackie's big smile there, unimprovable centering and razor sharp corners on this example, and no wax or gum staining, which is an issue this series often has. A beautiful example here that we expect to sell for $40,000. Up next, basketball season has been interrupted, but we can still talk about it, and this is a great NBA item. This is a 1995-96 Kevin Garnett game-worn rookie season uniform, the complete uniform worn by the 19-year-old as he debuted with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Great piece from his inaugural campaign, the Road Blue Micro Mesh here. It's got both champion tags, the +3 length indicated on the size 42. Always a skinny guy, but if you'll remember, he was toothpick thin that rookie season. The back numerals are signed in perfect silver Sharpie, and this is photo matched to a game 24 years ago, March 23rd, 1996 versus the Rockets. Garnett had 12 points, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 rebounds, and 2 blocks, filling up the stat sheet as he always did. And a great example, and it comes with a letter of provenance from the equipment manager as well as the photo matching. So a great piece for the very soon-to-be Hall of Famer, and one that's sure to appreciate in value. Up next, great football item. This is a 1936 Green Bay Packers team-signed NFL Championship Testimonial Banquet Program. This is something that would be right at home in the Lambeau Field Hall of Fame. Very rare piece. 1936 was the first NFL championship for the Packers under Curly Lambeau. So a great significant piece. They won it versus the Boston Redskins, and they played it at the Polo Grounds. So a lot of history there. The Packers won 21-6. This is a very cool piece. It's a 6x8 program. It's in excellent condition. It's signed by 22 members of that Packers team, including Arnie Herber, Don Hudson, Walter Kiesling, Clark Hinkle, and one of my favorite names from the Packers history, Buckets Goldenberg. So a fantastic piece and very hard to find, kind of a holy grail type item, a team-signed banquet program from the 1936 NFL champion Packers. And the last thing we're going to talk about today, this one caught my eye, a very rare piece and a very attractive one. This is a Jim Corbett Gentleman Jack advertising poster. Jim Corbett was one of the first athletes to become a media darling, and he was able to spin that into a stage career of sorts. He defeated John L. Sullivan in 1892 to become champion of the world, which it says right there on the poster. He's the only person to defeat Sullivan, and this is a poster for a play called Gentleman Jack. A nice size, it's almost 13 by 16, and this is the only example we've ever seen. These vintage items and advertising pieces are just beautiful and a great example of that. And Hollywood of sorts and sports world coming together, and incredibly old. And like I said, this is the only one we've ever seen. So a very cool boxing piece. There are plenty of highlights. You can go ahead and check out what's coming up in that May auction at ha.com. We're finishing it up so you can see as we complete the sale all the highlights and pick out what you want. And if you click track on ha.com, it'll notify you when those lots go live, when they're bid on. It's a great way to monitor the auction. And as always, if any of you have any questions or comments, we're going to do as many of these videos as we can just to stay in touch with you guys while we're all stuck at home. As you can see, I am as well. So leave your comments, or if there's something you'd like us to talk about or an item you'd like to see, let us know and we will add that to the next video. But most of all, everybody stay safe out there, stay clean, wash those hands at least 20 seconds or longer. For some of you, Tony, I'm talking to you, wherever you may be out there. But as a lot of you know, frequent watchers of our Facebook Live show and our auction closing shows, my #1 goal is to become the poet laureate of the hobby. And so I often write poems and songs about the hobby. And of course, I've had a lot of time pent up inside the house, as have you guys. So I've put one together. This one goes out to any Simon Armitage fans out there. This is called Lockdown. And I couldn't escape the waking dream of collected things, the weight and heft of game-worn flannel donned by Mickey Mantle, and ye old cards, corners sharp, populating our homes, common favorites or those with only a handful known. Shelves brimming with nodders' grins, purging packages of the treasures within, which brought to mind a favorite story of in-person autograph from Joe Torre. Web-connected collectors on either side dealing across the quarantine line. Images of signatures span the time till a Ruth autograph will be mine. Then sleep again and dream this time of where my next collectible will come from. Perhaps I'll make an offer to an owner on ha.com. With cards and collectibles from all over the map, their site alerts me to the launch of all the lots I track. Rookie cards, awards, autographs, and all the things I hoard. Vintage sports photography as far as the eye can see. The hieroglyphics of modern autographs to the perfect penmanship of athletes from the past. ha.com for what you seek, perpetually offering priceless and unique. The journey a joyous one at times for those in the know, and necessarily so. We'll see you guys next time.